Hello and welcome! We're going to be doing Riku's ultimate weapon. We already have, from this exact area actually, I think it's the Saturn Crest is hers? I believe it's Saturn Crest anyway. You get that from a random, what are they? Quicksand pool things, I don't know, right next to this place. The other one you have to do this minigame, which I recommend having no encounters for, because it's tedious and long, and even with no encounters, it's also tedious and long, so. This minigame involves finding 10 Cactuars, technically nine encounters, because one of them has 2 Cactuars. It will give you a hint when you talk to it, and you have to find the Cactuar. The first one is at the Oasis, at the very first part of this area. And before we leave, you see that person in the distance there. Right to the right of the minimap, there's a person over there. You can talk to them, they'll ask for help, say no, unless you know what you're doing. If you say yes to their request for assistance, I don't remember what it is, like they've lost their child or something, that's where home is. And home exploded, so you're like, okay, you lost your child, this must be like a minigame thing. If you do that, it spawns Dark Ifrit, and Dark Ifrit will most likely murder you and presumably your close relatives, because that's what he does. So unless you know what you're doing, go ahead and leave that guy alone. There's really no reason to talk to him. I believe you can flee from Dark Ifrit's battle. One of a few battles that you can actually free from Dark Ifrit's. Not Dark Ifrit's, Dark Aeons. But he's probably too fast, and he'll probably just get 3 turns before you can do anything anyway. He's pretty quick, give him that much. And this is exactly why this minigame is so long and tedious. Imagine doing this if you didn't have no encounters. The easiest way to get no encounters, and I'm sorry if I sound like I'm slurring. I swear, officer, I'm not drunk. The easiest way to get no encounters is to fight Geoscano, or however that guy's name is pronounced, where you get anima. Save right before you go in there and then fight him. You can only fight him once. Technically twice if you count the first time in the game, but you can only fight him once, and he has a chance of dropping a weapon with no encounters on it, which is unusual because you can't make weapons with no encounters. No encounter, so. I accidentally sold mine, so I had to actually customize a piece of armor. It's not this one, it's right there, so no encounter. You can do that if you're capturing monsters. You should have the item to do it. It's actually purifying salts. Alternatively, I believe you can steal purifying salts in Xanarkand, so. Takes quite a few, but it's not too bad. Anyway, here's our first Cactuar. Hello. A little dim, hey? So I don't actually remember how this works. I do remember not being good at it, though. It's better that way, believe me, okay? First trial. What do? Do I just run towards them? I guess so. Oh, well, that was quick. You gotta have a faster response time than me, apparently. I guess this needle time. It's like hammer time, except better. Hello. Good God, man. You gotta have a quick response on those. Hello. And then you fight them. They're not particularly hard fights, especially if you're at the level that I am. You can just one-shot them, and you probably will be fairly leveled by the time you do this, because it is for a celestial weapon. They give good experience, though. And when you win, you get their sphere. So his name is Tomei, so. If you don't get the sphere, you get a sphere del perdedor, or whatever that means. And just like the trials, you can only hold 1 at a time, which is fine, because you can only do 1 at a time. If you get the sphere del perdedor, you get nothing. It's basically an empty sphere. If you get a certain number of spheres that are named, you get an item. If you get 0 to 2, you get a potion. Excuse me. If you get 3 to 5, you get an elixir. If you get 6 to 7, you get a mega elixir, and if you get 8 to 9, you get a friend sphere. None of the items are particularly necessary, but if you want a specific item, the mega elixir is a pretty good one to go for, so 6 to 7 spheres. The friend sphere is not particularly helpful because you can get a fair number of those, and I will be getting a fair number of those myself later, but you know, if you happen to get 9 spheres, it's not the end of the world. Quickly wipe off my glasses there, apologies. I'm a blind man and I need my glasses clean. Otherwise I'm slightly more blind than usual. Shouldn't actually say that, usually it's just like a little spot on my glasses that annoys me. So as you've probably already figured out, this video, despite containing relatively little actual action, is going to be fairly long. For those of you who don't feel like watching the entirety of the video, I will put the placement of all of the cactuars. This is already 6.5 minutes in, so whatever. But I'll put a position of all the cactuars in the description, so you can just refer to that if you so desire. Be back soon. Indeed, the next one is in Sanubia Desert East, which is actually way back down there again. Sadly. So we have to run all the way back where we came from. Again, rinse and repeat. We have to do this numerous times too. There's actually 3. Is it 3 or 2? No, it's 2 that are in East. There's another one where I have to go to Oasis. One of them I've already done. There are 2 in Central and 2 in West. It's a tedious process. I usually don't get Riku's weapon because of this. It's a really tedious minigame and I don't really enjoy doing it because it's just running back and forth. But because of the party I'm employing for Dark Aeons, which if you haven't figured it out is Waka, Riku, and Humphrey, or Tidus, I'm gonna need her ultimate weapon, so we kind of have to do this anyway. I may as well show it even though it is literally just me running back and forth. But anyway, here's East, despite going south to get here. Doesn't make any sense, but he should be somewhere around here. Hold on. I don't remember exactly where any of these are, so you have to... I'm sorry about that. I'll have to kind of run around here and figure out where exactly this one is. He's somewhere in this area. There he is. Hello, friend. Oi! Not a progressive thinker, apparently. So now I get to do this again. You get 3 tries, I believe. So... this one actually starts the thing looking at you, which is very rude. Hello. Oh, freaking timer. Give me that crap. I'm tempted just to expedite this process to lose purposefully, because it's a lot faster to lose than to actually do this. I hate you, game. I hate you with a passion. You don't have enough time for this crap. Having his needle time bollocks. Ain't no one got time for that. Seriously, I was right next to him earlier. What is this bollocks about being halfway across the map now? Hello. I got it. Yay. And now Riku's gonna one-shot him. Or Waka will one-shot him. One of the two. I think we actually... No, we have our overdrive weapons on. I was about to say, I think we have our capture weapons for some reason. Yay. So now we run all the way back to the Cactuar thing. Yay. We have to do this 9 times. You have to do all of these. Even if you don't want items that are more spheres than you already have, you have to do all of them. You have to have 9 spheres. They don't all have to be named spheres. You can get 9 Predidordi, or how, I don't remember what it's called anymore. You can get 9 of those and still get her ultimate weapon. It doesn't, you can get 0 actual named spheres and still get Riku's weapon, so that's not the thing. But you have to do all 9 of these, so you have to spend, you know, like 30 or 40 minutes just running back and forth to get this. Alternatively, you can do this whilst capturing enemies. It'll make it take a lot longer, but you will be getting 2 birds with 1 stone. If you need to capture enemies in here anyway, I think I've already captured most of what I need here, so. Likes big numbers, be back soon. These hints are terrible. So this one is actually here. It's in Sanubia Desert West, but I believe you might have to leave and come back for it to spawn. But it's by one of these signs. I think maybe this one? Or it might be over there. Usually to get these to spawn, I don't know if this is 100% case, but it seems to be a requirement. You have to leave the area and then come back in. So this is the fastest route from the rock out of the area. May actually be the fastest route to the rock, I'm not entirely sure, but now that we've zoned in and out, let's do a survey of the land. Apparently it's near a sign somewhere over here. Supposedly. Theoretically. Maybe not. Wherefore art thou, Cactuar? It's supposed to be near a sign in this place. I don't remember what sign it is. Strong fiend in vicinity. 20% off all. It's this sign. 20. Oh, okay, you just had to interact with the sign. Okay. Recently learned to count to 50. A little needy and attention deficit, apparently. I like how they give you a backstory on all the Cactuar. I was never good at red light, green light. I didn't get that one on the first try, though. Hello, goodbye. All of this worked for like a 5-second encounter. If you're really low level, you'll get a ton of sphere levels out of this. However, if you're really low level, it's entirely likely that he's just going to kill your entire party, so that's obviously not good. By the way, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get down into that area there where the sandstorm blocks you. Whoa, frame rate, jeez. Seven more. So here's the double team. These are over here in Central, and the quickest way to get to them is to head back over here by this sign and go through this pathway, because they are in the ruins of Central, which is this this pathway or whatever, this exit entry thing, this loading zone area. I really don't understand the naming of this place. So this is Central, which makes sense, but East and West are North and South over here, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. So there they are. I was gonna say they should be somewhere around here. Excuse me. Thank you. You only get 1 sphere for this, I think. So, what are they doing? Thankfully, they move as one, as it says, so I'm surprised they didn't count as a loss. Hello. You do have to fight 2 of them, though, which, again, for us is going to be a 5-second encounter because of these 2. Which are actually drastically more powerful than Tidus, because Tidus doesn't have a proper grinding weapon, whereas the other 2 do. Which is also influencing the amount of AP we get, because their weapons are triple AP, so... But still, the AP in these fights is pretty good. It is not a grinding method, but it is a supplemental method. It's not a grinding method because you can't just keep fighting them. If you could, this would be a great way to grind, because you can kill them in one hit and get several Sphere levels, so... So that's 4. Technically only need 2 more for a Mega Elixir. So his is in East, which is all the way down here. So now you're gonna make this lovely trek again. Should probably edit, you know, the running out. Might be a decent idea, but, you know, whatever. Especially since I'm gonna be just rambling and or not talking at all during the vast majority of it, so we will see if I actually cut this out. If I do, then you won't hear this, and thus my blabbering is basically worthless, so I'm not entirely sure why I'm explaining this thought process. Regardless, this one is back down by the tent with the save sphere. I think this is the one that's actually at the tent, rather than the first one that I thought was at the tent, but wasn't. This wouldn't be so bad if the areas weren't so big. Like if the areas were all, you know, relatively close to each other and they weren't big like this, so it didn't take several minutes to get from one to the other, wouldn't be so bad. Oh, apparently you do that. Okay, loves new things, hard on others, easy on self, and stingy. Nice stance, bro. I don't like the camera placement on this one. I'm used to the camera looking at them. That was bollocks, by the way. At least they give you a couple trials, and it's not just like a one-time fail thing, but... Seriously, dude, chill out. Are you done? Jesus. How are you supposed to catch him when he's doing that? Maybe that was the hard on others, easy on self bit. Dude's impossible to please. Oh, I moved before he turned back around. That was my fault on that one. But seriously, man. That dude's freaking out. And we get a sphere dirty because we didn't finish that one. And you lose out on some AP, but that's kind of irrelevant because I can just, you know, go fight something that I'll explain in a separate video to get free experience. Not free, it costs 6,000 gil, but still. Easy to obtain experience, shall we say, for basically just hasting the enemy and then mashing triangle. Fun times. I really hate this minigame. I'm sure you guys hate it already, and you're not even the ones doing it. Unless you are doing it, in which case you probably are already aware of how garbage this minigame is. So with that out of the way, we have 4 more. One of them is in Oasis, which is all the way back at the start. The other 2, however, are not very far from here, thankfully, so... I could just kind of haphazardly stick these things in the rock. Robea is stuck inside. These hints are garbage. So this one is over yonder. Pretty much the same general area, I believe. Could be actually much further south, but I believe he's the same general area as the brothers that we found earlier. Sniffle. He should be in a chest. I believe he's in a chest next to a fence. Is it this chest? Or is he in a new chest that spawns? I'm not entirely sure. Could be south of here, so let's go ahead and check. He is on the west side of Central. Sounds like I'm explaining like New York terminology or something here, but he's in the west side of the Central Desert, so somewhere around here. Here we go. This looks suspicious. It's also kind of floating. There he is. I'm not likes cramped spaces. Check out his great collection. What's up with his leg? There's a bunch of treasure chests. I wonder what's in these. That was also my fault, my bad. I tried to move before he turned back around, like a dingle-dongle. I am really quite curious what's actually in these chests. Two shadow gems, nice. Shining gem, not too bad. You'd basically have to take 2 of your trials just to open these chests. Curious what's in the last one. Let's see if I can actually get that and him at the same time. Probably not. These are scripted needle times, by the way. They happen at set times every time, so... A blessed gem, and I accidentally moved while he was still looking at me. I think you could actually get that that third chest and him at the same time. I didn't, because I'm a dingle-dongle. Dingle, but hey. We did get some decent items out of the chest, at least. Not amazing items, but decent. And I don't know if the west or east exit in this area is actually faster to get to the Cactuar thing. I think they may be relatively equal, so... I'm just gonna keep taking this one because it's the one I always take. The next one is actually here. You have to exit and re-enter. I know for a fact you have to exit and re-enter for this one. I don't know if you have to exit and re-enter for the one that's at the sign. I poked that into his eyeball. The other one's in the eyeball too. The Lord of the Hole is gone. Isra stinks. I don't know what that actually said. So this one is actually in one of the whirlpools, or whatever those are called. I guess we'll call them whirlpools. The sand whirlpools. Exit, re-enter, should just be standing in one of them, I think. And the reason you have to exit and re-enter is because you need to reload the zone, so it reloads entities in the zone. There it is. Otherwise, this will not physically appear over here. What you doing? Having fun? Today he digs holes, again, apparently. Interesting. You appear to be standing next to a hole, sir. And twitching. Come on. Jesus. Hey, I actually managed to get it. I think if I had missed that last one, I wouldn't have had enough time, because he stands there for so long. I was starting to get antsy. I'm like, dude, just turn back around. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We only have 2 more. One of them is right next to this Cactuar thing. and appears automatically when you examine it. That's the last one. However, the one before that we had to go all the way back to Oasis, which is the start. It's kind of annoying. It's also a very odd series of events to get it. I mean, sure, you could eventually find all of these by wandering around, but this one, I'm not entirely sure how they really expect you to do this, because you have to go back to the Oasis save sphere and use that save sphere to board the airship. And then it'll kick you back to Oasis, and then you move away from the save sphere and it'll cause an event, and then you have to reboard the airship again and go to the outside deck to find this Cactuar, which is just ridiculous. I don't know how exactly they expected you to figure that out, especially since the hint is he went on a journey, which, you know, woo, that could mean basically anything. I guess you could probably figure out it means he went to your airship, but the fact that you have to go to the Oasis and then to your airship leads to confusion, because you can use any of the save spheres, and this is the furthest one away. So I don't know what was going on there, but that's what you have to do, so let's very slowly do that. It would also be nice if this place had some better music, considering how long you spend in here. It's just kind of got, like, I don't even know, not even sure if you would call that music, but it's got some sort of, you know, background sounds going on while you're here. I really like the Monster Arena music. That is a personal favorite of mine. I wish more places had it, but whatever. So we're back to Oasis. So we'll head all the way back here. Hello. That guy's head snaps up. I guess, actually, it seems it may have been slightly modified or something. I don't remember seeing that until I had gone to the airship. But let's see if it actually cut out like the initial part. Or if I'm just remembering incorrectly and there was no initial part and I'm just on some sort of horrible hallucination spree. That's a word, right? Like the dramatic music on the airship. Everyone just stands around 24/7, nobody moves, and it's got this lovely dramatic music. I do wish there was a quick way from the bridge to this area here on the airship, but there's not. You have to zone through a bunch of places and load every time. So if he's not actually up here, we're gonna have to do that again. Which is called inefficiency. I hope you're up here, Cactuar. It would appear he is up here. Hello. It's a lovely view. Although technically we're inside Sin. I'm, you know, not entirely sure how he really got here, but hey, details. Hello. Hyper-reactive and a bad poet. Good to know, I guess. That was fast. Also, the camera tilted, and then he jumped off the side of the airship, which seems a little bit unsafe. So don't move at the very start, as it turns out. Still immediately needle time. Stop tilting the camera. Seriously. Why is the camera tilting? What is the camera even doing? Okay. We just chucked him into the abyss that is the inside of Sin. Okay. So we just killed Elia by chucking him off the airship, apparently. That's good to know, I suppose. So now we have to head back down. I wish we could just pull an Elio and jump off of the airship to get back to Sanubia, but no, we gotta go all the way back down. Alst while listening to dramatic music. All whilst, not alst. It's not alst while, it's all whilst. I am good at English, trust me. Also, when you have all the Albed primers, I probably should like not have this 31 minutes into a random Cactuar video, but when you have all the Albed primers, make sure you talk to Rin. You get a cool little scene, and he'll give you a bunch of items, which are very useful. Let's go back to Beaconell.
Here we go!
And we conveniently have this thing still in our hand, despite it disappearing from your hand when you leave the outside deck. It's a little bit weird. I don't know why it doesn't just keep it the whole time, but there's probably some reason for that. Like maybe it breaks something else if you go to an area with this thing. I hate that corner with a passion, by the way. But either way, we have to walk all the way back to this thing, but thankfully this is basically the end, because the last one, which is the next one, doesn't require we go anywhere, so thankfully. I don't know how many of these spheres I have, so I don't know what item I'm going to get. It quite frankly doesn't matter, because it's only one of each, so one Mega Elixir isn't going to do me a whole lot of good. If it gave me like 30, that'd be great, but it only gives you one. So I don't really care what I get. So I hit the desk, but basically as long as I get the sigil, I think is what you get from this. Yeah. Which you get regardless of how many spheres you get, so it's kind of irrelevant. As long as I get that, I don't really care. Because that's all I'm here for, is that weapon that has break damage limit on it. Now, if you wanted to, you could customize your own break damage limit weapons. However, the celestial weapons, as I may have mentioned in the past, have a passive ability to them. So basically, you do more damage the closer to full or the closer to empty, depending on whose weapon it is, for either HP or MP that you are. Usually it's to full. I believe Arin is the only one that's the more damage you are closer to dead. So, but then Arin's probably doing 99k every hit anyway. Flail is always behind. Be back soon. Hello. The guy you never invite, but he always shows up anyway, and he's cheeky. He's got some sweet hair. Oh, he was turning around. You didn't say needle time. You cheeky bugger. I know you're cheeky, but I didn't know you were that cheeky. That's cheating. You're supposed to yell needle time when you turn around. Don't you know how this game goes? Oh, now he's just shouting needle time randomly. Come on, dude. Stop shouting needle time randomly. He is otherwise identical to all of the rest of them, so. A Cactuar Spy! And we get his sphere, which is orange, for whatever reason, and we plop it in there. Oh, it's his mouth, apparently. Fantastic. Gone for good, because we killed him, because we're terrible. I like how you do this little puzzle, you know, you find all of them, you fight them, and you're like, okay, I got a sphere. And then you come back here, and it does that little gone for good for every single one of them. You horrible, horrible person. It's like a really slow way of calling you like the worst person in the universe. You killed all of the Cactuar. Well done. To be fair, I didn't kill Elio. He kind of just jumped off the airship. And that clears up the sandstorm, which then allows us to go down there, which contains 2 chests, one of which, as I explained at the start of the video, contains an item depending on how many named spheres you obtained. The other one will contain the sigil. 100% of the time. Probably this one. Yep, so there's the sigil. And here's our bonus item, which is either a Mega Elixir or a Friend Sphere. Probably Mega Elixir, we'll see. Yep, Mega Elixir. And that's all that's down here. It's a very boring place, but it does give you the sigil, so you're probably going to end up being here anyway, so that's going to be the end of this. I will explain that if you want Gil, there are easier ways to get Gil. However, Riku's ultimate weapon has Gillionaire on it, which doubles the Gil obtained in any battle where she is on the front line. So you can utilize that to your advantage to obtain some early Gil. Otherwise, I will have a separate video explaining a really easy way to make Gil. Actually, a couple easy ways to make Gil. So. But that's not for now. This is 36 minutes and actually about 37 minutes of complete and utter bollocks that was really boring. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. I didn't want to read that game.